What's going on, guys? Ryan O'Toole back here again, giving you guys an end of the year ranking video. If you guys are new here, feel free to click that subscribe button and that bell notification icon for more reviews, reactions, rankings, and more movie content. It's finally here, guys. The end of the year 2019 is almost coming to a close. The end of the decade is also almost coming to a close. 2019 was a great year for films. There were so many great indie movies that came out towards the end of the year. Blockbusters, etc. 2019 was a really great year for cinema. This is the video you have been asking for the longest time and have been anticipating since the start of the year. One of my favorite films of the year. Please be very cautious. This is a personal list. This is not an objective list. This is a subjective list. These are my favorite movies of the year. Now for you, that may be different, and you're going to have a very different list than me, which is why it's awesome, because all film is subjective. We all have our own opinions on movies, our own favorites, least favorites. That's what makes the world of YouTube and cinema a great place, where we can share our differences of opinion and our similar opinions. Now, I know you guys throughout this list are going to say, Ryan, you gave this movie a 5 out of 5 stars. You gave this movie a 5 out of 5 stars. How come it's nowhere on the list? Like, shouldn't it be in the top 10 list? Well, no, that's completely different, guys. Just because a movie got a 5 out of 5 stars doesn't mean it's not always going to make the list. I felt the movie deserved the grade personally. Of course, before we get to the top 10 list, there were so many good movies this year, I did not want to leave off certain movies. So, there's 20 movies total on here. I have 10 honorable mentions. So, let's get through those 10 honorable mentions and mention them, because I think they're great movies, but just didn't make the cut. Uncut Gems, Booksmart, Long Shot, Jojo Rabbit, Spider-Man Far From Home, John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum, El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie, How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World, Rocket Man, and Knives Out. Very great movies, but just didn't make my top 10 list. They're great though. So now let's get going to number 10.
Everything's gonna be okay.
Toy Story 4 was one of those movies before the start of the year I wasn't highly anticipating, because Toy Story 3 was such a perfect conclusion to this Toy Story trilogy, but then we all found out they're making a Toy Story 4. Then I watched the movie and I was highly wrong. Toy Story 4 is a great inclusion to the Toy Story franchise. Sure, it's the weakest installment in my personal opinion, but I absolutely love the new characters that got introduced in here. Ducky and Bunny, voiced by Key and Peele, were such funny characters. Duke Kaboom, voiced by Keanu Reeves. I absolutely love Duke Kaboom. Bo Peep came back after Toy Story 2, and we find out the backstory of why Bo Peep left and wasn't in Toy Story 3. And it's very emotional. This whole movie's very emotional. Bo Peep and Woody, their relationship gets fleshed out in here. And it's the most emotional aspect of why this movie works. Toy Story 4 was so much better than I anticipated it, and I loved it.
We're gonna make history.
Ford v Ferrari was so freaking good. James Mangold did Logan, the Wolverine, 310 to Yuma, and now he's doing a race car epic based on the true story of the Le Mans 66 24-hour race. Christian Bale and Matt Damon give some of the best performances of the year, and it's some of the best sound design that you're gonna hear throughout this entire year. Me not being a huge race car fan, but I really enjoyed Rush, but I think Ford v Ferrari is better than Rush. I think this is an excellent, well-directed, well-written, well-acted movie from start to finish. The race car sequences are some of the best of this entire year, some intense moments.
All we have is now.
Waze was so freaking good. I was so happy I saw this movie in theaters, because I've been highly seeking it out. Been hearing so much praise about it, and all the praise was worth it. And it has some of the most underrated performances of the year from Sterling K. Brown and Kelvin Harrison Jr., who give some of the best performances of the year. Kelvin Harrison Jr. was so freaking good in this movie. Renee Elise Goldsberry from Hamilton is also really good, and Taylor Russell was good. Lucas Hedges. It's just full of that A24 magic that felt very similar to Moonlight. It's such a real tragic story about something that happens and family drama. So if you haven't seen Waves, please watch it because I think it's one of the best films of the year.
It's gonna happen. Either way, he's going.
The Irishman was so freaking good, and everybody has been highly anticipating this movie since the start of the year. It was going right to Netflix, but Martin Scorsese shows he still has it, and despite what he said about the MCU movies, you gotta admire how great The Irishman was. A long movie, 3.5 hours long, definitely the longest movie I have seen personally. But yes, Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, and Al Pacino. Amazing performances in here. Al Pacino being Al Pacino, freaking out on those guys is awesome. I kind of went Pacino there. Joe Pesci, it's so great to see him back. Coming out of retirement for one more movie. He was so good, Joe Pesci. The de-aging did not bother me. Some of it in the beginning was a little iffy, but then I forgot it was de-aging by the rest of the film. It's an emotional movie. It's a crime movie. It has all the Scorsese-isms in it. And it's just great. The final shot is amazing. And The Irishman, it's another classic from Scorsese. Joker, directed by Todd Phillips, starring Joaquin Phoenix as Arthur Fleck / Joker. Another very controversial movie. Apparently this movie's been getting controversy. I don't really know why, but I loved every minute of Joker. Joaquin Phoenix is a front runner for Best Actor for sure, next to Adam Driver. I love how this movie doesn't focus on Batman at all. It doesn't even mention really Bruce Wayne. We see young Bruce Wayne, but it doesn't say anything about Batman. The Wayne family is in here, but it's all about Arthur Fleck becoming a psychopath. His scene with Robert De Niro and shooting him is some of my favorite moments of this year. Such great acting from Joaquin Phoenix. And it's just an excellent tale, a dark adaptation of a DC villain. And they need to make more comic book movies like this with villains, because Joker shows you can go the R rating there, and it really goes there. And I'm curious to see if there is going to be a sequel for this, because I love Joaquin Phoenix as Joker.
It'll be the two of you having to figure this out. Together.
Marriage Story came out on Netflix. Really wanted to put this higher, but man, Marriage Story was so freaking good. Noah Baumbach should get a Best Director nomination. Basically tells a story about a similar divorce situation he went through, and Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson give the best performances of the year. The realism these characters are feeling, it doesn't even feel like they're acting in that. They're just playing these people. The acting's so freaking good in this movie. Laura Dern also was great. It doesn't even feel like a movie. It feels like you're watching a real divorce go down. And Netflix has been killing it this year with their movies, and Marriage Story is no different. It is one of the best films of the year. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is every single definition of why I love movies. This is everything for a film lover. This is the movie for film lovers. I absolutely love these characters. Leonardo DiCaprio as Rick Dalton and Brad Pitt as Cliff Booth. Both of these characters are so great. Just their scenes of them watching movies and just commentating on it. Cliff Booth is such an awesome character. And just to see the whole entire storyline go down with Margot Robbie as Sharon Tate, which was my weakest aspect of the movie, but it's a long movie. It's a Tarantino film. It goes there in that final act with the dog and Brad Pitt. It's such a great movie. I love everything about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I need to rewatch it again personally, because I think Tarantino brings his style and his love for cinema in here. Parasite, oh my god, this movie is intense. I freaking love Parasite so much. I need to see it again personally, because when I saw it the first time, I was blown away by what I just saw. Bong Joon-ho is a director for the ages after doing Snowpiercer and Okja. This was his masterwork, his best piece. Parasite has some of the best performances of the year by these actors, best ensemble cast of the year. Parasite has so much great messages about the upper class and middle class, and it presents a great story about how this family is basically blackmailing these rich people and taking advantage of them. It questions society a lot, and it pictures what society can be if we treat the lower class better, and it has some of the best twists of the year. I will not spoil it for you if you haven't seen Parasite, because it is one of the best films of the decade and of this year.
How long have we been on this rock? 5 weeks? 2 days? Help me to recollect.
The Lighthouse is about these two lighthouse keepers basically going insane. And this movie is insane, and I love every single minute of this movie. Willem Dafoe, I do not understand why he's not getting any love at all from the awards, because he gives one of the best performances of the year. Willem Dafoe, this might possibly be his best performance, one of his best actually. His character is basically very interesting. And Robert Pattinson as well. Very underrated performance, and I just love these two characters battling their egos. You're not going to understand it on first watch. You need to see it again to fully understand what's going on. And I just love the twists and turns this movie goes in, and these characters basically talking about their lives, getting to know each other, and just going absolutely bonkers at the end. The cinematography is incredible. The score, the setting, the black and white filmmaking. Love this movie.
This is gonna work, Steve.
I know it is. Because I don't know what I'm gonna do if it doesn't.
Avengers Endgame was my most anticipated film of the year going into it, and I didn't know how it was going to top Infinity War, because Infinity War was such an incredible ending. Our heroes actually lose and Thanos wins. Endgame delivered everything for me. The emotions, the epicness, the nerdgasms, everything you want in a 3-hour-long epic. Endgame had some of the best moments of the year. Our characters figuring out how to bring everybody back. Everything in that final act with Captain America wielding Thor's hammer, and then everybody coming together, coming out of the portals and saying Avengers assemble and fighting each other. It's just so awesome, because I'm an MCU fan. I have been an MCU fan for 10 years. This is the movie I wanted, and if this ended all of the MCU, I would be perfectly fine with it. But we're not. We're obviously going to get more movies, but just it impacted me. They've built this great universe for 10 years, and you care about these characters, and I did. That's why I loved every single minute of Avengers Endgame. Sure, it's got some nifty issues, but not for me. It's my favorite MCU movie, and my favorite movie of 2019. There you have it, guys. That was my top 10 best movies of 2019. Again, guys, I'm sure you're going to have a very different list than mine. Let me know down below what you thought of my list and your list. Let's talk about it in the comments. Thank you guys, as always, for watching this top 10 best list video. All my social media links are in the description below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!